Aaron, did the US and UK deliberately sabotage peace deals to keep the war in Ukraine going? And if that's true, and there is evidence to suggest that it is, why would they do that?
Well, it's true according to multiple sources. The first hint of this came actually from sources close to Zelensky, who told a Ukrainian media outlet in May that after Russia and Ukrainian negotiators reached a tentative deal to end the war, Boris Johnson came over from the UK, and there's no doubt he was acting at the behest of the US because the UK is a lackey of the US when it comes to foreign policy, and told Zelensky that, sorry, we're not going to back you up if you make a deal with Putin, and it's not the time to negotiate with Putin, it's the time to fight him. So that killed those talks, and since then, Putin has said a similar thing. He accused the US of wrecking a peace agreement, and Fiona Hill, who's a former White House Russia expert, also said that U.S. officials knew that there was a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine reached. So that's the evidence for it. And why they would want to kill peace is because, look, their goal is not to defend Ukraine. As Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, said, their goal is to weaken Russia, to use Ukraine to bleed Russia, which has been a long-time goal of the U.S. And that's been made clear over and over. Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator, recently said that as long as we arm Ukraine, they will fight to the last person. So from Washington's point of view, Ukraine is not something to be defended. It's something to be used as cannon fodder against Russia.
Aside from the moment where you said that the UK was the lackey of the United States, I found little to disagree with in your argument. But I've still been well enough conditioned to feel a kind of flush of patriotic rage pass through my body. Aaron, has 6 years of propaganda nudged us as culturally into believing that it's futile to negotiate with Putin and Russia? And is it futile? Is there any indication that there is a diplomatic solution available that would be generally amenable?
It's definitely ridiculous to believe that there's no chance of negotiating with Russia when you have all these sources saying that there was a deal reached, and there's no reason why that can't be tried again. And yes, the last many years of propaganda where we've been told in the US that Russia is basically responsible for all of our problems. Hillary Clinton concocted a conspiracy theory that Trump was a Russian asset, and then when she lost the election, blamed Russia for her loss instead of doing any real self-reflection. We've also seen Russia blamed for Hunter Biden's laptop. We've seen Kamala Harris say that Russia was responsible for the Colin Kaepernick controversy when he refused to stand for the national anthem. We've seen Russia blamed for Black Lives Matter protests. There's nothing that can't be laid at the Kremlin's doorstep by the Democratic Party, or at least by the leaders of the Democratic Party. And so in that context, Russia is portrayed as this demonic existential threat that we can't negotiate with. And the one outcome of that is that you have no Democrats right now, even Bernie Sanders, even the Squad, who are willing to stand up and say, why are we spending so much money on a neocon proxy war that is threatening the world? The former defense secretary and former director of the CIA, Leon Panetta, just came out and said that according to intelligence analysts that he's familiar with, they've upgraded the chance of a nuclear war to 25%. So according to them, there's a 1 in 4 chance of nuclear war right now as a result of this proxy war. But still, the propaganda here is so strong that that won't force people to come to their senses and to say it's time for diplomacy. It's time to stop killing the negotiations that we've been blocking for many months now.